Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We've got this Mexican pine sideboard to upcycle. We picked it up for free from Facebook Marketplace, so we're going to do a basic tutorial for you guys, so stay tuned to find out how it turns out. Alright guys, first things first, we're going to give the unit a good clean and we're going to use sugar soap for that. And then we're going to take out all the drawers, take out all the hardware, and it's ready for sanding.
Take the hardware out as well before you clean it. Normally I would, but I just didn't this time for some reason. This hardware is really hard to get out as well. It's not screwed in, it's in with wire, which is really weird. Yeah, so I'll come up close to the camera. This hardware is in with wire, which is very weird. It's like in and then twisted round and it's stuck into the wood. It's an absolute nightmare. Also, these drawers, no they're not, they're doors. Also these, they're not screwed in, they're nailed in. So they're going to be an absolute nightmare to get off as well. And we're actually taking these off and we're going to leave this open. And we're going to do like some funky sort of pattern in there. But yeah, we need to get these doors off first.
Alright guys, we managed to get the doors off. Took us about 40 minutes. Like, look at the nails that were in there. It was just like no budging whatsoever. So we just used a bit of delicate violence to get them off.
Delicate violence. We did damage the wood a tiny little bit, but we managed to get them off in the end. So yeah, we can crack on now with sanding and priming.
Whee! So we've got a few holes to fill here and there, and then we're going to scuff sand it with a 120 grit sandpaper.
Okay, the filler's on, so we're going to let that dry for 20 minutes and then we'll start sanding down. Okay guys, so we are about to start sanding. We've just filled all the holes, so there's quite a few holes everywhere and cracks. So I'm going to sand all them down, give all the unit a good rub down, and then it's time for priming. Let's go. Oh, and also using 120 and 220. Some of the filler's not completely dry, so I'm just going to sand everywhere else and then I'll come back to these after. Okay, that's all the sanding done. We've given the whole thing a rub down and we've got rid of all the filler now. Now it's time for primer. We use Zinsser Bin Shellac Base. Some people ask us why we always prime everything if we're using chalk paint, and the reason is because one, it helps the paint stick, even though chalk paint does have primer in it, but the main reason why we use it on everything is so we don't get wood bleed, because a lot of projects where we've only used chalk paint, we still get wood bleed through. This prevents that. It's definitely worth using. It just saves you doing another coat and wasting paint and all that kind of stuff. So I would definitely recommend using Zinsser Bin Shellac Base. We'll leave links in the description down below for all the products we're using. So yeah, go and check it out. Anyway, let's get priming. So the prime has been drying for a few hours now. I did notice a few more holes, so I have filled them. The filler's dry. So we're going to rub down the filler and then we're going to rub down all the unit before we start painting. I'm just going to use a 220 grit sanding sponge. And the colours we're using, it's just leftover paint we've got. So After Midnight and City Slicker, and they're both French heat paints. So yeah, let's get rubbing down and then we can get the first coat on.
Let's get painting, you guys. Alright guys, first coat done. We leave this dry and we'll be back in a few hours. We'll catch you later.
Okay guys, so the first coat's dry. We're going to give everything a quick rub down with 220 grit, and then we can crack on with the second coat. Let's go.
Alright guys, that's the second coat on. We're probably going to do a third coat, but we don't know if we're going to record that, yes or no. And then after that, we have a little surprise in store. Alright guys, we did 3 coats of blue and we did 2 coats of grey on the inside. Now we're going to tape the inside up, and we're using FrogTape. It's a really good tape, so we're going to leave a link in the description. We're going to do like a cool geometric pattern. We did it on the table previously and it turned out really cool. We're going to put up a picture for you guys so you can see. So we're going to tape the insides up now, and then when we've done that, we're going to paint everything this color as well, so you get like this cool stripy grey geometric pattern in there. Let's get cracking.
Okay, yeah, little tip, when you're taping stuff up, go over it with like a dry roller. It flattens the tape down so you don't get any leakage. I'm pretty sure there will be a little bit of leakage though in this, because we're going up corners and stuff, so there will be little gaps, but we'll touch up afterwards.
Alright, so that's all the coats done. We just need to do 2 more coats on the insides and then we're ready to tear off the tape. Hopefully no bleeds there. But yeah, we'll catch you in a bit.
Okay guys, moment of truth. So the tape has been drying for a few hours now, so we're going to peel it off and hope for the best. Okay, so we weren't sure if we were going to paint the drawers, we're going to leave the drawers, but we've put them in and they look pretty good as they are. So we're not going to paint them, we're just going to give them a light rub down using 220 grit sanding sponge, and then we're going to give them a wax. We're using antique wax. Friendship doing antique wax as well, but we don't have any left, so we're just using one that we were given. But the Friendship one is much better, so we'll leave a link in the description below for this one. But yeah, when you're using the wax as well, use like a lint-free cloth or like a tack cloth, or just kind of anything that's not going to leave bits everywhere. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with sanding and then we can get waxing. Okay, so when you're using wax, get a decent amount on your cloth, rub it all in with the wood grain, and then get most of the excess off, leave for a little bit, and then you can give it a good buff. Okay, that's all the drawers waxed. I'll leave them for probably about an hour and then come back over with another cloth and give them a buff, give them a bit of a shine. But yeah, they're looking pretty good. I'm happy with them.
So, like we mentioned yesterday, we got the tape off. It looks pretty good overall, but we do need to touch up here and there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sand it all down with a 220 grit sanding sponge to make sure it's all smooth, clean it and then touch it up with a small brush. I can't really record because I'm going to need the light to get in there, and otherwise I'll be in front of it anyway, so we'll show you guys after. Alright, so I finished touching up all the insides. Looks nice and clean now. No more bleeding anywhere. I decided to touch up the sides as well because I didn't really like those random stripes on the side, so you need to do those a few more coats. Overall it looks really good, and in the meanwhile while that's drying I'm gonna polyvine the outside of the unit, so we'll catch you in a bit, guys. Alright, while the inside is drying, I'm going to start polyvining the outside, and we're using Polyvine Decorators varnish. We're probably going to give it like 2 to 3 coats to give it that extra protection, so let's get cracking. Alright guys, that's all the polyvining done for this round. I'm going to wait for this to dry properly so I can give that a polyvine and then go over the entire unit one more time. So we'll get you in a bit. Oh yeah, I painted over these like 2 stripes that were on the side there because I didn't really like them. Dean liked them but I didn't, and Dean's not here so I just went over them anyways. So I need to give that 1 or 2 more coats as well. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Okay, so Chantal's touched up all the lines. She's polyvined all the outside of the unit. I've just done 3 coats of polyvine inside the unit because we wanted to leave it for a little while just so the touch-up paint could dry. Now all we've got to do is put the handles on the drawers and then we'll show you the final results. Okay guys, here are the end results. We're really happy with how this one turned out.
If you want to see more upcycle videos, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our videos. And as always, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Dum 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 dum.